Welcome back to the Pearls and Pearls podcast. I'm your host, Peta-Kay. I've spent years talking about my life, but I've realized I've never sat down and asked the woman who raised me about hers, not as mom, but as a woman. So meet the woman behind mom, who is Clover, my mom, aka Little.
You really
so
have put that in it.
Yes, honey, because we keep it real on the Pearls and Pearls podcast. So today I'm joined by my mom, I'm really excited actually, because when I suggested us having an episode together, you were like, yeah, let's do it. So now we're actually doing it. And I've got like some questions. And for me, honestly, like I really want to take this opportunity to get to know you as a woman, not as my mom. I feel like I know you as mom, but I'm sure that there's so many things about you that I don't know. And I really want to use this as an opportunity to get to know the woman behind mom, because you're just a girl at the end of the day. And like me, you want soft life, isn't it, mommy?
Always.
How would you describe yourself? Who is Clover?
I would say determined, focused,
Mm-hmm. I'm putting you on
and
the spot now.
yes, focused, determined, hardworking, and I'm not a quitter. Once I start out to do something, it doesn't matter how rough the journey is, I am going to accomplish what I set out to accomplish. So I would say someone you can depend on. If I say I'm going to do something, it's going to be done regardless.
Period. And you describing some of those things, I can definitely like see myself in you as well. But let's go back in time. I want to know a bit more like you've told me over the years some of the parts of your childhood, but I want to know, what was it like for you growing up in the 60s, the 70s? Like, what was your childhood like?
Well, my childhood was, I would say, for the most part, a happy childhood. You know, when you're growing, well, I lost my mom when I was 10 years old. I grew up with my grandmother. Obviously, the trauma of losing my mother has always been there. But then I grew up with people that I know that genuinely cared and loved me. And you know, when you grow up in a certain environment and you don't have things, but you don't know that you don't have things, because
Mm-hmm.
what you have around you is like it's sufficient and you're happy. I always go to school, always do well in school. I'm always happy in myself and happy with myself. I've never like have self-hate or self-pity or any of that good stuff. And then at the age of 13, I gave my life to the Lord and I started going to the New Testament Church of God, which had a very impact on my life. There were so many people, so much love during my teenage years that I was just living life. I was a happy young person growing up, and then finish secondary school, do a couple jobs here and there, went to dental school, had my first child at age 25,
Mm-hmm.
moved into a different parish totally from where I was grown up with. And then I just find, I don't know, people gravitate to me. People just naturally love me. So it's like I moved to a different parish and I find a new family.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't like, oh, I pity missing home. Yes, I used to go home like every holiday and all of that good stuff. But I still have a happy life because I was surrounded with genuine people that love and care for me and my child. How far you want me to go?
We're gonna go back because you've pretty much taken us through childhood to moving parishes, but I want to go back. So you said that losing your mom, you still had like people around you, like your grandma. I think you grew up with your granny, right? She looked after you. From what you're describing, even though you had that loss, because you were surrounded by community, you never really noticed that you didn't have certain things, or you were just
No.
happy, I guess.
Content. I think content
And
would be, a fitting word to use. Hmm.
what were you like as a girl? Like, what kind of little girl were you? Like, what were you interested in? Like, what did you do for fun?
Ooh, fun. Well, I used to play baseball. I mean,
Baseball?
not baseball. I used to play netball. I used to go to, I was a lot into speech. So I used to go to speech, like, you know, Jamaican dialect. I've entered festival a couple times, win a couple awards.
Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
know
didn't
any
know
of
that?
this.
You
No,
missed
I
that.
didn't.
Win
See,
a
you
couple
never
of
told me any of
awards.
this.
Yes. Yes, and I used to be like a lot in folk singing and dancing as a teenager. I've always been on the choir, doing a lot of performance. Yeah, I like going to the theater. In the holidays, I used to like to go and watch a movie on the big screen. Anything else? Yeah. Sports club, girl guide at one point.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
but
any of this. You
you
didn't tell
missed
me
out
any
of
of this.
that. It's so much to tell, eh? And
Like
then,
even the
I mean,
awards.
yeah.
What did you win
eh,
awards for? Was it like poetry or?
Yes, it was like Jamaican dialect, like, some of the Louise Bennett's poetry. I used to do those at the National Festival. I think I got 2 merits and a commendation.
Okay,
Yeah,
celebrity. I didn't know any of
those
this.
days, back in the days. Yeah.
Wow, like
And
how old were you around this time? Was this like teenage years or
yeah,
before then?
I was in my teenage. I was in my teenage. And then, like, they used to have like different organization used to have things. I used to go and represent my school or my church and do performances. I was very popular, when I was young
I believe it. I
in
mean, you're
my
very popular
community,
now.
in my in my community, in my school. I was very popular. I'm always, having like going to school. I'm always having like leadership roles, president of Interschool Christian Fellowship, being a prefect, being a head girl. I don't seek to be popular. It just happens. Just
Why do you
happen.
think that is?
I
What is
don't
it do you think that
know.
makes people
People,
gravitate towards you like that?
I think sometimes people see things in you that you yourself don't even see. But I'm always, you know, a caring kind of person. I'm always standing up for people who cannot stand up for themselves, even though sometimes I get myself in trouble for that. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe those things let people gravitate to me. I'm always for justice and people doing the right thing, especially for people who are not able to speak up and stand up for themselves.
It's definitely true. Why do you think that is? Because it's so easy for you to see something happening and just ignore it. That is the easier route. Why do you think you are so against injustice? Like, what is it
All
about
right,
that?
let's kind of backtrack and go back to my primary school days. When
Okay,
I was,
let's hear it.
you,
Is
you
this when you used to be
remember?
fighting?
Yes, you
Tell us
remember when
about the
I,
fighting.
you remember when I was telling you about. I never knew that I didn't have. I was
Yeah.
content in what we have. I mean, we don't have television, the rain is falling and we're indoors. We're playing board game, we're playing cards, we're playing all these games. We're happy, me and my siblings. But I find it like when I was going to school, I don't know, children can be little devils, can't they? And
Mm-hmm.
I think people think that I had more than I have. Not that I pretend to have it. I go to school, I'm always well groomed. I started grooming my hair myself from I was in about grade 3, the primary school, and I've been doing it
Wow.
ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like that thick long hair. I always groom my hair myself. Even if it's a one uniform, it's wash, it's clean. My shoes is always shine and all of that good stuff. I don't know, but I mean, there was these mean girls, and they just start picking on me for no apparent reason. And it's like every single evening I can look forward to a fight.
Wow.
And I must say, my father had a lot of kids, 3 different baby mamas. But
Ciao.
then I am happy for my brothers because there's always one there to defend me and to back me
Mm-hmm.
up and to spare me. And I think that is the foundation of me don't like to see when people pick on people and try to bully them and try to like I don't like injustice. I just don't
Yeah.
like injustice. I don't like to see bullying. I don't like to see people because the person might be what they call soft.
Hmm.
They pick on them and treat them a certain way. So I'm always stepping in. I'm always speaking up. I'm always being the voice for those who really don't have a voice for themselves. And as I said, I have gotten in trouble many times for it, but I'm going to die doing the same.
Period.
Mhm.
Because you have told me about some of your fights and your kicking, but I
Uh,
didn't really know like the backstory behind that.
yeah, it's like you have to fight to survive. You're going to school and you're nervous about it. And like, oh, what's going to happen today? What are these mean girls are coming with today? And all
Yeah.
you want to do is just go to school and learn and go back home. And I think one of the reasons too, I have to toot my own on. I was very bright. I'm always like, if in my class, if it's even 30 kids, I've never fallen below second. It's either first place or
Wow.
second place in my class. So
Really?
honestly, from the day I entered school, always first place and second place, right through primary school. And I think that did some that maybe was a part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't make sense. But yeah. Mhm. But
That's sweet. I
yeah.
didn't know that about you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm still processing that. And I guess
Yeah.
obviously growing up, you didn't have that many opportunities, but you
Mm.
clearly had so much potential. And it's just interesting to think what life would be like if you had
As
some of those
well,
opportunities that we so
it's
take for granted now.
yeah. Someone just kind of harness some of the gifts and
Yeah.
push you a
Hmm.
little bit further.
And what were some of like your dreams back then? Like, did you like dream of like what you wanted your life to be like? Or like, did you have like a career that you wanted at that stage?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think sometimes when your life is a certain way, it's all
Hmm.
about survival. Because
Yeah.
when I finished secondary school, I did a couple jobs, and then I ended up going to dental school. Didn't even know what I'm going there to do until I got there. And I made a career out of that. Lasted like 14 years, but I've always wanted to be a registered nurse. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Well, I do know why. I remember I have a sister that had asthma, and I remember one night when that asthma takes her, nobody sleep in the house, and we
Yeah.
are up. One night we were up for the whole night. We both went to the hospital, me and her, and the nurse just looked at her and said, "You don't look like anybody having asthma."
What?
And I'm like, "What the hell?" Well, and it was good job that I had a friend that worked in the pharmacy at the hospital, and we went to her, and she gave us some medication. And bless her soul, she has passed away since. And when I went to dental school, and then I'm learning that asthma is life threatening, I'm like, that child could have died. And that wicked woman did nothing about it. And I'm like, I would really like to become a nurse. Like
Yeah.
genuine, not just to get a paycheck, but to be a good nurse.
Do you remember how old roughly you were around this time? Was this like teenage years or like
I wasn't
18,
even teenager
19?
yet. No, I probably was about 12 or 11,
Wow.
12.
Okay.
I wasn't even, I'm sure I wasn't going to secondary. So I was very young. It was like so sad. Like people are in these professions and they don't really care about people.
They don't care. Yeah. It's unfortunate. What was your age
Really.
gap between you and Auntie Pat, the sister you were talking about?
5 years.
She was 5 years older?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. So even so, she was still young herself, like maybe 17 at
Yeah,
the time,
yeah, she
18.
she was young. She was
Wow. I have a question actually before we move on to like adulting because I've split this into chapters. So we're
okay.
gonna go backwards and forwards. So
Mm-hmm.
what's one memory would you say from like your childhood, or it could even be up until like you were like maybe 18, that when you think about it, it just makes you smile?
Wow. Hmm. Oh girl.
You gotta dig back now in the files for this one.
Yes, it's so much. I think one of my most fondest memory is me graduating from secondary school. I was way up in my teens, but that was one of my fondest memory. I'm like, wow, because most of my siblings from my mom's side didn't make it that far. I had to drop out of school for one reason or the other. And to see that I got there, I went up, I was head girl, I gave my speech, people were cheering. It was one of my fondest memories growing up.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So how old are you? Like maybe like 16 at
I
that
was
time? I'm not sure what the ages are like.
about maybe about 17.
17, okay.
But it was I always look back on that day, and yeah, you just felt, that sense of achievement, that determination that I'm gonna finish this
Mm-hmm.
course and to, get there in the end.
Were there ever any times, like when you were in school, that you felt like maybe you would have to drop out? Or
Never,
was that always
never,
something that, like, I'm gonna do
ne-
it?
never, never, never. Even with the one shoe, even in the rain. I mean, I grew up in Portland, and sometimes it rains for like 2 weeks in a row, every day rain. And I'm telling you, I weather through the storm, never late, never absent. I was determined that, listen, I have to take myself out of whatever. I have to make a life for myself. So I have never had a thought that I'm going to drop out of school, ever, no matter what. Even when I was in
Yeah.
primary school, I remember there was a time when I had a wound and I stepped on a can, like a dog took it out of the trash and I stepped on it, and I have a mark on my foot to this day. And I went to school every day with that wound.
Wow.
When I was in year 5, I never missed a day. I remember my teacher was Miss Miller, and she gave me a whole desk for myself so I can put my foot up.
Oh my
God.
gosh, wow.
Miss Miller gave me a whole desk for myself so I can just put my feet up. Never missed a day. Never. Never late, never absent.
Where
Mhm.
do you think that determination came from? Because, like, so many people in your position, they would probably give up. They'd think this is too hard, me can't bother. They would just feel sorry for themselves and give up. Like, where do you think that determination came from? Do you think it was maybe like your faith that contributed to that, or
Well, I was determined from I I think I had a genuine love for school. I think I had a hunger for learning. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why, but I think so because even like when I was going to primary school, I used to have to go to school, go back home for lunch, and go back to school, and it never bothered me. Never bothered me. I'm just like, then you used to get like an hour break for lunch, and I just go home, eat, and go back to school. It and I've never been bothered like, but I think I had a genuinely love for school, and I think I have a competitive spirit as well. Maybe
you do
like
definitely. That's probably
like
where I get it from.
you know what? This term I'm not gonna come anything less than first. Even by reading books, I could recite the book. I could tell you what's in the reading book without even looking at it. That is how much I put everything into learning. I'm telling you. And maybe I get a sense of satisfaction from like, you know, coming first place in class this term or even second place. You just feel that genuine sense of, you know,
Accomplishment.
satisfaction. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess also that's probably one thing in your life that you could have controlled, like
Mm,
being the best you could, like studying, working hard.
Nobody couldn't take that from me. Nothing.
I'm learning so much already. I'm honestly stunned. I'm like, I didn't know I knew some of these things, but a lot of the detail you've
Yeah.
never shared. So let's go forward to like adulting. I feel like for me, it's only maybe the last couple of years that I've really like realized, oh my gosh, like my mom was actually just a girl. She was me at the point of life that I'm at. Like I've always just seen you as my mom. And I think sometimes I've expected perfection from you, not realizing that you were just figuring things out yourself. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
like having this conversation, it really puts a lot into perspective for me, and it's definitely helping me to see more of you just as a human, just as a woman, just as someone figuring it out the same way that I'm figuring life out as well. So I want to
Okay.
know a bit more about like, what was life for you like in your early 20s, living in the 80s. So you spoke about you moved parish, so you moved from Portland to St. Anne. What was your outlook? What was your, did you have any plans, or were you just like, I just want to see what things are going to be like?
Well, to
Talk me
be
through it.
honest, going to St. Anne wasn't a choice, or maybe a choice out of not much choice because, as I said, I went to dental school, and when you go to school, you don't pay. The government train you, and then you're expected to go wherever they send you after that. So
Oh, I see.
I, there were a few spots. I chose St. Anne was one of my choices, and I got to go to Brownstown. So I didn't have the opportunity to go back to Portland because there was no vacancy there. So, it's not like I had chosen to go to St. Anne. That's where I was placed. But I feel like I just decided I'm just going to make the best of it. And it turns out to be a big improvement in my life because I have a job now. I can work. I can, do more for myself than I was able to do before. I have this career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think going to St.
And
Anne
how old were you
was
roughly
good.
when you moved?
I moved to St. Anne when I was 24.
24. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's before you had my sister, or after?
Yeah, I was when I moved to St. Anne, I was pregnant.
Oh,
Literally
wow.
pregnant. I went to St. Anne September. Petra was born in January.
Wow. Okay. So you were like heavily pregnant
Yeah.
and having
And
so you had two big life changes. You were
yeah,
pregnant, having your first child,
and I
and
made the move.
moving
Made the move.
and moving on your own, right?
Yes, made the move.
How did you feel? Were you nervous about being a mom? Were you
I don't.
excited? Do you remember how you felt?
I was just doing it. I was just doing what I have to do. I guess. I think I was just doing what I have to do. Doing what I gotta do. And I work up until the day that I was ready to give birth. Because I went to work in the morning and go back home and have baby the next morning.
Wow. And then how long did you have off work? Yeah,
Not
let's talk
very
about that.
long. Not very long because you have to realize now I just started this job with the Ministry of Health. I wouldn't have acquired maternity leave, yes. But I'm going to tell you, it's just, sometimes I don't know if it's God, I don't know what it is, but you just sometimes when you just find yourself among the right people, it makes that much different because we had a medical officer of health, Dr. Curlew. She was such a sweet woman. And she was like, "Oh, you can come back to work and bring the baby." Because, I was working at Bronson Health Center. They had a house on the same premises. And you can just bring the baby, get a babysitter to look after the baby, and you can just go over and breastfeed the baby. I had so much support with all these people that I just met. It was something. She and I don't even think Dr. Carlo have children. I don't think she has kids, but she was such a sweet woman, so accommodating. It's beyond me. It's like angels put in place just to give you support. I had so much support. You can't imagine that I never, I'm just knowing all these people in the community that I'm just meeting, getting me babysitter, getting this for me, getting that for me. It's crazy. It's like I've been
Wow.
living there all my life.
When in
Yeah.
fact you'd been there for a
Yeah.
couple of months, like
Yes.
4 months
Yes.
maybe.
Just for a few months. It's amazing.
So you really built
Mm.
a community very quickly.
Very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. People just drawn to me and just want to help and want to do whatever they can do to make me, you know, comfortable. And that was, you know, looking back, I'm like, them some little angels put in some position, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely unheard of. So
Yeah.
how many weeks after giving birth did you like go back to work? Because you said,
Maybe
you were
about
able
six
to get
weeks.
that support.
Maybe
Six
maybe about
weeks.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? That's longer than I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
less.
No, about 6 weeks, between a month and 6 weeks. I'm sure it was more. Within a month.
And what was it like giving birth for you? Were you on your own? Did
Well,
you
when
have I don't think you had a C-section, you had a natural birth, right? What was that like?
I had a natural birth. I had it at a colleague of mine had a birth in place. I didn't even go to the hospital. I decided that I'm gonna go and let her do. She was a midwife and she had a birth in place. And I decided I was gonna go there, and then she was like, "No, it's your first child. But what if we have complication?" I'm like, "There's not gonna be any complication. We're doing this." And Nurse Carthy, and then we had a community health aide that she was there with us as well. So I went home, went to work in the morning, didn't even know that I was in labor because, you just have a little slight back pain, whatever. So I just went to work, started doing my work, setting up for my dentist, doing all of this stuff. And then I realized, oh, yes, I'm in labor. And one of the nurses said to me, "You're in labor." So I decided, all right, I'm going back home. And went home, got my things, got a taxi to take me to the birthing place. And the taxi was like, "Nurse, you don't look like you're ready to have baby. I'm not even gonna charge you because I'm not gonna have to take you back and bring you back." So he did. The guy he didn't even charge me to take me to the birthing place. And when I
Wow.
went, the midwife like, "Sips, you don't look like you're ready to have baby." And then when she examined me, she's like, "Oh yes, you're gonna have baby." And I
Wow.
guess I was such a tough cookie that people look at me and don't think I'm having a baby. And
That is crazy.
I went there the evening, and by 6 o'clock the morning, next morning, yeah, badass. Went to work, went home, had my baby. Just one of those things.
Wow.
Hmm.
So you had your baby, you were 24, you're in a new job, you're in a new environment, new people.
Hmm.
How did you juggle like working full time with having a small baby and in a new place?
Girl, I don't know. I just did it. Wake up early in the morning, wash, do whatever I need to do, go to work, go back home, do what I need to do, and start it all over again the next day. I guess you experience a little of that. Me waking up early, washing, cooking, going to work, coming back home, do it again the next
Yeah.
day. It, I don't know. I just do what I had to do. But you just know that these things have to be done. Get up 4:35 in the morning. Like, when you guys were going to school, it was the same rhythm. Make the dinner so that when you come home, dinner is ready. Wash the clothes, get ready, go to work, come home, dress up, and wake up the next morning and do it again.
Were there ever any moments in the early years that you found really difficult being a mom?
I had a lot of support. Even, when Petra was like a bit older, and had people that, I had someone that I could just leave her with, go to work, come back, pick her up. Family that loved her, gravitate to her. Even to this day, people that are always asking after her and all of that. I don't know, I was just blessed. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I think I was just so blessed of all these people who are like always there. It's like at not a moment that I'm cornered and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I don't have help. I'm always people are always there to help me. And so
So you really had a community, and I guess that
that
that probably made all the difference.
community,
Because if you didn't
yeah,
have that, maybe it would have been a lot
commu-
harder for you.
community make a big difference. And then when I get connected to Brownstone Church, which is an extension of the church that I used to go to Port Antonio, I get another family. School drop offs, school pickups. Yeah, community is very, very important in whatever you're doing. When you don't have
Mhm.
communities, like you're isolated, so it makes everything like 10 times hard.
And I guess also that's why a lot of mothers today struggle because they don't have that community.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
people, their moms are still working, or you have to move away because it's expensive. So
yeah,
that lack of community really does
yeah.
make such a difference.
Isolation is it's terrible when you have a community, no matter how small, but they're there, people are there. It makes such a difference.
And as we're speaking on motherhood, like after experiencing the loss of your mother, do you feel like that influenced on your desire to be a mother or how you showed up as a mom?
I think so because I've always like some of the struggle that I go through as a child where I know if my mom was around, certain things would have been done or I would have had certain things, just not having a mother. I've always like, I don't know, been everything I do, I sort of try to make preparation for my kids. Like if something happened, I'm not here. I want to make sure they're secure. I want to make sure they have this kind of thing. That's what I've always working towards. Like, should in case I pass away before my kids are grown, I want them to be able to survive. So I always grow up. I always do whatever I'm doing with that in the back of my mind. And I've always like, I don't want to have kids before I have a career. I don't want them to struggle.
Yeah, that makes
It, it,
sense.
it, I mean, back then, sometimes I probably didn't realize that the passing of my mom had that impact. But looking back, I realized, a lot of what I do have something to do with that. Because my mom was a provider. She used to work. She used to make sure we have everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, I know.
Wow. Besides, obviously, you just said your mom was a provider. Besides, like the financial loss, is there anything else that you feel like you maybe missed out on not having her in your life?
Yeah, because my mom used to spend time with us. A lot of things I learned, like even my timetable and stuff like that. I was the younger one, but my mom used to teach my brothers and my sister at night, and I'm the younger one, not even in school, and I'm learning these things too. You know, the prayers. She used to spend time. Teach them prayers, teach them their timetable, teach them to read, all of that. She spent that quality time. You get that quality time with her. And I mean, nothing can replace that.
So she sounded like she was a really, really hands-on mom.
She was a hands-on mom.
Wow. But it's beautiful. At least you still have those memories because you were what, 10 years old when she died?
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
But yeah, you still remember. What do you think for you is like the biggest lesson being a mother has taught you so far? Because you're still a mom, even though we're grown now.
Mm. For me, sometimes I see other parents and I look at them and I'm like, maybe I'm a sad mom. Because for me, once I start having children, it's like they are my priority. My mama bear. I just want my kids to be. Is that my dreams, my aspirations, and I went on the back burner. I just want my kids to be successful. I want them to reach a stage that they can look after themselves. If anything happened to me, they're okay. I was just in that mode. I couldn't think of anything else. See, there you go. That's why I ended up go back to nursing school when I was old.
How old were you when you went back? Was it 55,
I
56?
I finished nursing school when I was like 57, maybe about 55. Let's see. I've always wanted to be a registered nurse. And I came to the
Yeah,
States and I had the opportunity to do it. And I'm like, I can do this. I know I've met people much, much younger than me, like, Clover, oh boy, I couldn't do what you do. I'm like, you can if you're determined and you want to do it, you can do it. It just
yeah,
goes to show that if you want to do something and you want to do it badly enough, you can do it. It doesn't matter your age. As
mm.
long as you have life and you have health and you have strength and you have your mental faculty, you can do whatever you want to do. And you have the opportunity to do it. Why not?
When you were on your course, was there anyone around your age or was there most people tended to be a lot younger?
I mean, I think in my class, maybe just one person around my age group. Most of the people were younger people, and some of them didn't finish. I can tell you that much.
For sure.
Some of them didn't finish the course. I mean, when I came here, I came to this country, I decided, okay, I'm giving myself 2 months to study and go to my GED. Because that is the first step. Gotta do GED, or you have to go get some whatever. If you don't have a high school diploma, GED, whatever, you can get into what you want to get into. And I mean, people grow up, been here for years and don't have one. And I
And
mean,
you decided to set yourself a 2-month goal.
I set myself goals when I first got my green card and I came here to collect it. I was here for like 6 weeks. I set myself a goal that within 2 weeks I'm gonna go get my driver's license. Because I mean, not the drive, the one that you get the ID, your learner's license. You have to pass. You have to do two tests. You have to do one about drinking, driving, something like that, and then the other one you have to study the road code and know all of these things. 2 weeks I studied. I went and did the exam. And people been here for years and never did it. Or they do it one time and they fail and they don't try again. If you're determined and you want to do something, you have to wait. You have to do it. But I'm always like that. If I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. When I was planning to go to the UK, I was doing my Cambridge exams. I stay at home and study and go past them. I mean, I didn't use them when I got there because situation was like I could go to school and raise kids. I had to work, but I still did
Hmm.
them. If I didn't leave the UK the time when I leave the UK, like if COVID had caught me there, I would have done my nursing at the hospital that I was working because they had offered a lot of people opportunity to do it because they
Yeah.
needed nurse.
Hmm.
So I would have been able to use it, but at that time I'd already left. So, you have to prepare. If you want to do
Yeah.
something, you have to make preparation, put things in place. I'm going to do this, with what the Bible said, faith without works is dead. If you want to do something, you got to plan, you know, prepare.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
take action.
Take action.
I think that's definitely a theme with you, determination. Being determined to do things, even if they're hard.
Simone, I can tell you that nursing school ain't anything easy. It's tough,
I can imagine.
but it's doable.
Hmm. I mean, you done it, so it's doable. I think for me, that's one of the things I'm really proud of you about. It was only, I think, after you graduated that you told me, that was always a dream you had when you were younger. And just
Yeah,
seeing that, even though it may have happened later in life, it still happened. And it was just really like, I'm so proud of you for that. Like, I always tell people about it
thank you.
because so many times people write themselves off. Like, I was even speaking to someone at work and there's something that they said they wanted to do. And they're like, oh, but I'm almost 40. It's probably too late. And I was like, no, it's not too late. And I was thinking of you at the back of
40
my
is
mind because
young.
I
You,
know, but
but,
again, like,
but
we think,
it,
oh, I'm too old.
it was weird because like when I was in nursing school, I used to work in a hospital and we used to have, I have a couple of young nurses that, just come out of nursing school and the people, young people always gravitate to me. I'm always Mama Clover. And some of them were like, I'm telling my mom about you, Clover, that you're going to nursing school because she don't want to do anything. My mom is younger than you. My mom is much, much younger than you. And I keep telling my mom about you. Yeah, a lot of young people, they're telling their mom about me because their mom is like, I'm too old to do this.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of people, when they get to a certain age, they just write themselves off and they think, oh, I'm too
Mm,
old. It's too late. And then they just don't bother. They
yeah,
give up.
I don't believe in giving up. If it's something you want to do, just do it. Yeah, as long as you have health, as long as you have life, you can achieve what you want.
That's it. Write that on a t-shirt.
Hmm. Write it down. It's true. But sitting down and not doing anything, it's not going to bring no salvation. You got to move towards what you want. You got to move.
See, when I need some motivation, I'm going to come back and listen to this episode.
Oh, bless you.
But now I want to keep going and I want to segue into a different area, one that we've never really spoken about, but now I'm curious. So, a lot of my friends, especially my single friends, they talk about like what it's like dating now in 2026 and it's really bad and the men are crazy and stuff like this. What was it like for you in like the 80s and 90s, relationship wise, like dating? Did people date back in your time? Like, what was it like then?
And things has changed, isn't it? You don't have all this social media. You meet people, you go out, you date. But I mean, this is a total different generation. It's it's no going back. It's totally different. People have different expectations. Well, in my days, back in Jamaica, you're looking for somebody that is hardworking, somebody is reliable, somebody who is honest. And these days, people can be, people are, I mean, back in the days, people were sly and deceptive, but I think this is the deception here now. Sometimes it costs you more. I don't know if it makes sense,
It does. It
but
does
I
make
think
sense.
this generation is more wiser. They're more open to more. They have more opportunity. They have more insight in things. So I think they should be able to even choose, not being deceived so easily. You know what I mean? People are more independent. Most of these young women that would really like to get married, they're more independent. A lot of them are career women. Now, back in the
Yeah.
days that you're depending on man to help you to pay the rent or help you to do this, most of them can really make it on their own. They
Mm.
just need a life partner. So you don't have to allow yourself to be deceived. As I was watching something that you were one of your um thing on social media that you were saying like somebody was asking about some person they're dating for a little while and the person's borrowing money. Like and you were like, that's like a red flag. If somebody's like borrowing money from you already, it doesn't look good. Sometimes, and I always watch this thing on. There's a little, I think it's a AI generated little girl, black Jamaican AI generated girl, and she was saying like a lot of people when you meet this person, you already see all these red flags, but you tell yourself that you can fix this person, and
Yeah.
then you see all red flags, you still go in a relationship, and then when you get caught up in it, then you start to complain. So sometimes, there's certain little things that you see, you have to pay attention to. Just pay attention. You don't have to make mistakes to learn, but you can learn by others' mistakes.
I think what you've just said has given me the perfect segue to ask a question.
What?
Obviously, you obviously you don't have to answer, and I can edit out just for my own knowledge. But
What?
it will be interesting to know for you. You did get married, you got divorced when I can't remember how old. But for you, you said obviously learning from other people's mistakes. Before you got married, do you feel like were there any warning signs that you ignored, or do you feel like life just unfolded in ways that you couldn't have predicted?
I don't know if they were red flags that I ignore. I would think like when you're dating somebody that you think that person is working hard and whatever, and then the economy is a certain way and struggling to survive, maybe there are things that you probably would have seen, but you don't see it. You just think it's just the system or the economy. And I think that is one of the reasons that why I moved to London because things were so hard in Jamaica. So you're like, maybe if we go to London, we will have a better opportunity to work and put our
Yeah.
resources together and achieve certain things that we want to achieve, kind of thing, you know? And to be honest, no matter how much you want good for somebody, they have to want it for themselves. Or if you
Yeah.
have a vision and you're going to have a partnership, the person have to have the vision. You have to have the same vision.
100%. So you've got to be
So,
compatible in that.
yeah, yeah, you have to have the same kind of aspiration. You want to accomplish this. We want to get a house. We want to get this. We want to get that, and then we want to whatever. If it's not, if it's going in two different directions, no matter how hard you try, it's not going to work. You could move from here
Yeah.
to Egypt. It's not going to work.
Very, very true.
Mhm.
And how do you know when it's time? Because I know of a lot of people, they've gotten married and it's similar. I think I would describe you as an ambitious woman, hardworking, visionary. And I think for women like you and myself, you've got to be with someone that has a similar mindset. Because if you don't, it's just not going to work. Or it's always going to feel like you're dragging that person along.
You're carrying them on
That
your back.
compatibility, yeah, that
Mm.
compatibility has to be there. And I think that's one thing that as women and as girls, like nobody really teaches you that. Like you're just taught, oh, marry someone that has a good job, and you don't really learn or nobody guides you on
But the
how to
person, the
actually choose
person can have a
properly.
good. The person can have a good job and it still doesn't work because the person could be spending the money, wasting the money when you are thinking we could use this resource to buy a couple houses, rent them out, do this, do that. So you have to have the same vision. It's not just having a good job. You have to have the same mindset.
And how did you know for you? How do you know when it's time to keep fighting for a marriage and when it's time to let go? Because there's a lot of women,
Well,
especially you're a Christian woman, right? So
hmm
generally we don't divorce and all that kind of stuff. But for you, like, how do you know when it's time, like, okay, I need to cut my losses? How do you know when
well,
you have to keep fighting or to give up? Like for you, how did you know?
I don't think a lot of women stay in marriages. Some people stay in marriage because they want to show face. They don't want people to think they have a failed marriage. But I have that kind of, I don't care what people think. I'm gonna do what's best for me. You have to, because otherwise you're gonna. I know people who stay in marriage until they're old and then they live in all these regrets and then they're hating themselves and it's like it's too late. But for me, once I moved to the UK and I see the same pattern, I realize no, it's not environmental, nothing. This person just have a different mindset from me, and the box stop there with me. I'm not trying to help you no more. I am just focused
Yeah.
on me and my two babies. Cause I have two babies. I don't want a third baby. I cannot look after baby number three. I always want two babies. God bless me with two babies. I'm not gonna look after baby number three. You gotta figure your own stuff out. It's true, and I think when you have kids, it make life different. You wanna focus on your kids. You don't wanna waste time bothering about people and their recklessness and they're wasting time and wasting money and doing crap. You don't have the energy.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. Especially in London, where survival is the name of the game. Mm-mm. I'm telling you,
I hear
you
you.
know,
You say that, but for some women, it's the opposite. Like they stay because of the kids, or they stay because it will be too hard to do things on their own,
they don't
or
stay
they feel
because
like
they
it'll
no
be too
kids.
hard.
They don't stay because they no kids. They stay because they want to stay. Some people
Oh,
stay, they have resources, they can move, they can do whatever they want to do. More than I had because I
mm-hmm.
didn't have nothing. But they chose to stay. You choose to stay. You don't want people to say, oh, you're divorced, or you're this, or you're that, or whatever. My name is not divorced. My name is Clover. Me, here's the thing. I rather be on my own. I rather do bad on my own than do have somebody and doing bad with the person. What's the point? What's the point?
Period. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because then whatever decision I make or whatever I do, I have nobody to blame but me. But a lot of ladies, oh, I stay because of the children and because of the children. I mean, there's this person that I met in London, and she, we became close, and she has always told me, she's like, my mom has always been complaining, your father used to do this and your father did that, and she keeps saying, but mom, you choose to stay. You were a
That is it.
nurse. You had a profession. You had this. You could have left if you wanted to leave. You chose to stay. Stop mourning now that you're old and talk about what happened. And you're the one who chose to stay. Nobody forced you. So it's the same thing. A lot of people choose to stay and then they mourn. I mean, some people don't have the. Some people, I don't know. Some people find it very difficult to be on their own,
I think that's what it
and I
is.
get it, especially when you're accustomed to not being on your own. But then you're not on your own, but you're with this person. You claim that this person is not helping you. So you're literally on your own. You just have a body there, but you're on your own. You're doing everything for yourself.
Yeah. Like a single married mom. You've described yourself as that many a times.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, are more willing to help you when you're on your own more than when there's your man in your house. Because they're thinking you're getting help and you're not getting no help. When you're on your own, you'll get help. You have to make peace with yourself. You have to be happy with yourself. You have to enjoy your own company. All of that good stuff. You have to have, resources to tap into. I have my word. I love my word. So I tap into my word. I'll sit down and listen to my word for hours. Listen to whatever I want to listen to. Be in my own space. Sometimes I don't even want nobody to talk to me. I just want to be, in my own little space and my own little meditation and my own time alone. You have to love yourself, ultimately. You don't love yourself, you have issues, you're gonna have problems. And you don't have to wait on people to give you that. You know within yourself, you know who you are and you love who you are. I love young people, even from I was young too, because I always act as if I'm older than I am when I was younger, and I am always, at work, at church, I have young people coming to me, and I always try to put that in them, instill that in them. You have to love you first. Love you. Don't try to care about who wanna love you. Once you love you, invest in you to be the best you, half of the problem is over. Whatever everybody else
That's
is saying doesn't matter. You can talk. You know what you're doing. You know who you are.
well, I want to segue into our relationship now. I've got a few questions before we reflect and just wrap up the episode. I think from a lot of what you said, I've got an answer in my head for this, but I want to know, what do you think I've inherited from you?
Your determination, your your tenacity. Like you're not afraid to try things. And if you ever try something and it look like it doesn't work, and you're not afraid to try something, and you're determined, you're the confidence, that self confidence, that self love. What you know who you are. This is you, and it doesn't matter what nobody else is thinking. This is you. What you see is what you get. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this, like it or not. Self determination to push through and get to where you want to get. I think so.
Wow, I agree. I agree, definitely. I think from you sharing your stories, I can definitely see where I've got some of those qualities for you, from sure, for sure.
Hmm. Keep
And
on
when,
keeping on.
yes, girl, we have to. Got no other choice. Even when I want to give up,
No,
I know that I have to keep going.
giving up is not an option. I'm telling you.
And when would you say you are most proudest of me so far? I'm sure there'll be many things in the future.
Oh, girl, what can I say? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the young woman you've become. I'm proud of you. Just th- the fact that I can move from London and leave you in London, and I don't have to be fretting and worrying and like, oh my God. I mean, if you weren't who you are, I wouldn't have that confidence in leaving you behind. It's just the same like with when Petra was coming to the States. She was a teenager then. And people were like, Sister Clover, you're going to make her go. And I'm like, yes, because I had that confidence that she's not going to come here and be a loser. She's not going to come and waste her life. I've seen her grown into a young woman that I know that she's focused. And that's one of the things that I see in you as well. You're focused. You know what you want. You're not gonna go and mess your life up, ruin your life kind of thing. So I can go to my bed and I can sleep. And I don't have to be worried. Yeah, that young woman that you have grown to become. I'm proud of the whole of you. Yeah,
Thank you.
I am
It's
proud.
good to hear.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I don't go to my bed worrying and fretting. No.
Thank you. Well,
But
I'm proud
but
of you too.
But I've always tell people that my children, even the other day I was saying to Petra that, so I'm looking back now and I'm like, oh my God, what I beat you for when you were a child you didn't even deserve a beating. Because what these children are doing nowadays. I'm like, what did I even beat you when you were a child? You were safe.
See? You didn't
I've
realize
oh
what you had, didn't
no,
it?
I did
People are
not
struggling
realize
today.
people are struggling, and I've always said to people like, my kids, I can 100% and honestly say that I'm blessed to have the kids that I had. Very, when I see what some parents been through, thank you guys. I have to say thank you to you and your sister for being the children you were and are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when I have conversations with people and they talk about their relationships with their mom and some of the things they've experienced. And I'm like, wow. For me, it really puts things into perspective because I think sometimes you naturally compare or you look at what you feel like you don't have.
Mm,
But hearing some of the experiences of like my friends and other people that they've had with their moms, I'm like, wow, okay, I had it really good. Some of the things I've heard, I'm like, my mom would never do that. Like, that's crazy. And I think
yeah.
sometimes you take that for granted. So as much as you're proud of us, I'm really proud to have a mom like you.
Thank you.
I love you lots. But we're not done
Love
here,
you, Lord.
even though we're wrapping up. I'm
We're
even feeling
not
a little bit
done.
emotional, but no, we're not. We're almost there. We're just getting to the reflection point. I have a few more questions before we finish.
More
But one thing
questions.
yes, I know. I'm really getting in because you owe me for not writing in the book that I gave you
Oh,
almost over
God.
2 years ago.
I was
So
going
you're
to do an
making up for
audio. I
it.
was going to do an audio. But I didn't do it.
Well, we ain't got time for you to do the audio. You're taking too
Yeah.
long. But I want to know, at this stage of your life, you're now 61? Because you like to keep reminding of us your age. 61,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Coming up to 62 in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
What are you still learning at this stage in your life?
Boy, life is a school of learning, You learn every day. You live and you learn. I am still learning that I have a lot more to give. I'm still learning that I can achieve a lot more out of life. And I'm still pushing to achieve more. I'm learning that when you reach 60, you're just ready to go. 60 don't
So
mean to go crawl
it's
up
not
in a
the end of the
corner.
road.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 no. There's a lot more coming. Still have dreams, still have aspiration, still plan to do things one day at a time.
And that's important. I think still having those dreams, it gives
Yeah.
you something to keep working towards.
Yes, finish one project, move on to the next.
And my next question, as I conclude, and then I have one final one for you, is who's the Clover that people never got to see? So you talked a little bit about who Clover is at the beginning, but who is the Clover that most people never got to see? Whether it was when you were growing up, or maybe people like misjudge you as a certain way. Like, who is the woman of Clover that you feel like most people never got to see or haven't seen yet?
That's a hard question because to be honest, I'm very open and I can be very direct. And I always say to people, what you see is what you get. I don't stay behind the mask. I like to be open and honest. And sometimes people think I'm a little bit harsh. And sometimes people refuse to see me for who I am. But to be honest, I don't know. I think if you get to know me, you know. And if you don't want to know me, you're not going to know me. I don't know if that make any sense, but I'm so
It
open.
makes sense.
I'm so direct. I don't beat around the bushes, I don't go in the corner. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, regardless, whether it be in church, whether it be at work, whether it be wherever. I'm just going to be me. I guess anybody knows me. Know the true Clover. There's no fake it.
That is true.
It's me. Just me.
Most people
Yeah.
say that, but it's definitely true in your case. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna pretend.
No, I don't know how to. Unfortunately, sometimes for me,
Oh, that's funny. And if today was our last conversation, what would you want me to remember?
I want you to remember that your mother loves you very much from the day you were born. And people always say, oh, everybody always love one child more than the other, but I don't think so. I think you and your sister have your different personality, but anything I would do for one, I would do for the other. I would lay my life down for any one of you. And I want you to live with that, to know that from the day you both were born, I loved you. And anything that I would do for your sister, I would do for you. And anything I would do for you, I would do for your sister. And I want you two to just be sister, have each other's back. Do what I would do if I was here. always think, what would mom do if she was here? I would want you guys to remain close, love each other, have each other's back, because that's what we do.
Oh, I love that. And I'll always have this audio, even in like 100 years' time when you're gone, because I'm hoping you will live very long.
I'm going to
I'll
be here
always
for
have
a
this to
while. I'm going to be around for a
come
while.
and listen to. Well, you better,
Yeah,
because you need to see me make it
yeah,
and be rich so I can spoil you.
I don't plan to go anytime soon, okay? Plan to stay around for a little while longer. Yeah,
You do that.
by
That's
God's
beautiful.
grace.
Thank you. Honestly, I really appreciate it.
All right, love you loads.
And we've come to the final part. I love you too. But we've come to the final thing. So one thing that I try to conclude the episode on when I remember, I'm trying to make it a habit. You know, my podcast is called The Pearls and Perils. So
Mhm.
I normally try to end the episode by sharing my pearl of the week. So it could be something that I've learned recently or a quote that I've heard that stuck with me, that's encouraged me. So I want to end this episode by asking you to share your pearl of the week with us. So one thing that you want to share with the listeners, whether it's something that's encouraged you or something you want to share to encourage them based on our conversation. Yeah, what's the pearl of week you want to leave with us?
You know, it's it's something that people always say in my community growing up. What you sow is what you reap. It's also a biblical scripture, is what you sow is what you reap. So always try to sow good. In Jamaica, they said you cannot plant peas and expect you're going to reap corn. So always try to do the best you can to all the people you can, just as you can. And the person that you do good to, they might not appreciate it, they might not return it, but trust me, someone else will return the favor to you when that time comes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that's such a great way to wrap it up. And
Yeah.
it's very contrary to what we learned today. You know, one thing that people talk about a lot is matching energy, treating people how they treat you.
Mm-mm.
And what you're
No.
saying is
Mm-mm.
completely the opposite of that.
No.
But
Sometimes I mean, and sometimes as people, sometimes you do things for people and you're like, I would never do it for anybody again. But you know me. As soon as I get let down from somebody, I pick up somebody else. I'm not gonna even let what that person do to me stop me from helping somebody else. I'm gonna keep it going.
wise words spoken. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, Mom, for taking this time to speak with me, to share your life, to talk about your stories. I've definitely learned so much more about you than I didn't know before. And it's been nice to just hear more about Clover,
You're
more about
welcome.
you,
Thank you for having me.
and we definitely want to get you back. For those listening, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. And if you want my mom to come back, let me know what topics you want us to explore next time. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. And also, I'd encourage you, if your mom is still alive, whether you have a good relationship or not, maybe do something similar. Sit down, maybe if you take her out for a coffee or whatever it is she likes, and have a conversation. Ask those questions that maybe you've never asked before. And sometimes, mums, I say this because you are listening, you don't give us the stories. We have to ask you a million questions to get the answers. You don't always like willingly share your stories, but I think just take the opportunity to get to know the woman behind your mom or the man behind your dad. And I think but yeah, for me, it's been really beautiful having this conversation with you. And I want to tell you that I love you so much.
I
I'm so
love you
proud of you.
too.
Like,
Always.
you continue to inspire me, seeing what you've been able to achieve over the last couple of years. And even looking back on my life and things that you've done, I'm so grateful for all the sacrifices you've made. And yeah, I just want you to know that I love you and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Proud of you too. Love you, loads.
Thank you. Love you too. Well, thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back with you in the next episode.